Uh, Glories to Prabhupada and Krishna Janmastami. The clock in front of me says it's now time to begin. The volume of my voice is low. Can you fix that? Is that better now? Okay. There's 4 of us in the room, and today is Krishna Janmastami. So we're not going to have little kirtan at the beginning because there's only 4 of us in the room. But we'll offer our respects to Srila Prabhupada and the Pancha Tattva and Krishna. So although you're muted, you can say along with me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Most of you are familiar with Bhagavad Gita, and go ahead. And there's one verse in Bhagavad Gita that's spoken twice. And in that one verse spoken by Bhagavad Gita, there are similarly 8 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam that are spoken twice. Because they're spoken twice, we can understand they're very important. Those 8 verses spoken twice are the words of Garga Muni in the name-giving ceremony of Krishna. Garga Muni was a celebrated astrologer. He not only could read the chart of others, but he could understand their past, present, and future. He was a very qualified, learned person. During this name-giving ceremony, he indicates the nature of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, and the future of Krishna. So I thought that would be a nice topic for us to discuss today. The context of the name-giving ceremony was Nanda Maharaj went to Mathura to pay his annual taxes to the king. While he was there, Vasudeva knew that he had come to pay his taxes. Now, they were dear friends and close relatives also. It's for this reason that when one of Vasudeva's wives, Rohini, was just beginning her 3rd month of pregnancy, Vasudeva sent Rohini to be in the care of Nanda Maharaj. Now, Vasudeva knew a secret. The secret was that Nanda Maharaj's son was actually his son. Because of that secret that he knew, and also because of the wicked Kamsa, he was very concerned if he met with Nanda Maharaj, then Kamsa might become suspicious and cause a problem for Nanda and his son. Therefore, the very careful Vasudeva sent a messenger to Nanda and he arranged a meeting in a private place and along with all the other conversation they had, Vasudeva warned him that Nanda should be careful. There may be danger for your son in Gokula. This created some anxiety for Nanda Maharaj. We're going to refer to this anxiety of Nanda Maharaj a little bit later. After meeting with Nanda Maharaj, there was another meeting that took place. And that was the meeting between Nanda Maharaj and Gargamuni. Nanda requested Gargamuni to give names to both his sons, Balaram and Krishna. And Gargamuni also understood the danger of Kamsa, so he arranged for the ceremony to also be done in a private place, very suited for Krishna. It was in a goshal, or a place where the cows were kept protected. Those verses you can look up later. They're found in Canto 10, Chapter 8. And the verses that just precede are as follows. First, Gargamuni gave names for Balaram. Because we just experienced Balaram's appearance today, we probably know what Gargamuni said. He gave 3 names. He describes Balaram as the son of Rohini, but Nanda was taking care of the child as if Balaram was his own child. The first name he gave was Bala. The first name he gave was Rama. And his name was given because he gives happiness to all the family members in Gokul. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can think of Balaram when we call the name Rama. That was one of his given names. And the second name was Bala. Because this son will have enormous bodily strength, he'll be known as Bala. And because he will unite 2 families, that's the family that's in Mathura, the family of Vasudeva and Devaki, and our family here in Gokul, he'll be known as Sankarshan, he who unites 2 family dynasties. And then come the 8 verses spoken by Gargamuni describing Krishna's life and giving his names. those very same verses are described much later in the 10th canto. Same, word for word, same verses spoken again. And those verses are spoken just after the Govardhan Leela takes place. When Krishna was lifting Govardhan hill, all the residents of Vrindavan had an unbroken opportunity to be with Krishna, see Krishna, serve Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights, uninterruptedly. And they were so much overwhelmed with joy that they didn't even think how amazing it was that little Krishna, 7-year-old boy, was lifting a mountain. After Krishna had replaced Govardhan hill, the next day the elders of the cowherd village began to feel amazement at the power that Krishna had just displayed. They were in amazement at the power that Krishna had just displayed. Chapter 26 is called Wonderful Krishna. They began to ask each other, who is this boy anyway? There's a science of rasa that says there are 5 principal relationships with Krishna, and those are enhanced by different moods of secondary rasas. So these were the village elders. They naturally had parental affection towards Krishna. That primary rasa of parental affection was nourished by a secondary rasa called astonishment. Who is this boy anyway? And they started reciting this pastime, that pastime, the other pastime. They told a little Krishna book story in that chapter of all of Krishna's wonderful, amazing activities. So they decided to go ask Nanda Maharaj, who is this son of yours anyways? Dear Nanda, how is it that all the other residents of Braja cannot give up our constant affection for your son?
亲爱的 Nanda，在文章们的所有人为什么对你的儿子 Krishna 有着如此无尽的爱呢？
And how is it that he is also spontaneously attracted to us?
而且，您的儿子 Krishna 怎么就会自动的吸引了所有人呢？
When he was just 7 years old, he lifted Govardhan Hill. We have a doubt about your son. Who is he?
您当他7岁的时候，there is echo。
What? The last part? We have a doubt about who your son really is. Nanda then spoke these very same 8 verses that Gargamuni spoke in chapter 8. He's now speaking them again in chapter 26. Same verses. His response pacifies their heart, which was filled with astonishment by the power of Krishna. Now, Gargamuni is very sensitive personality. He understands Vasudeva knows Krishna's divinity. Nanda just thinks of him as his little boy. So in his answer, he doesn't say that he is the personality of Godhead, but he doesn't say he isn't either. In the first of those 8 verses, Gargamuni explains that in previous lifetimes, this son of yours had complexions that were red, white, and yellow. And now he has appeared in a blackish color. He doesn't say your son is a Yuga avatar, but indirectly he's saying. Most of you know there are 4 yugas, and for each of the 4 yugas, there's a yuga avatar, and there's different colors corresponding with each of the yugas. In Satya Yuga, the Yuga avatar is of white complexion. Jiva Goswami explains in Tattva Sandarbha the names of those Yuga avatars that are white include Hansa avatar and Vaikuntha avatar and others. Tattva Sandarbha. Avatar. Vaikuntha avatar. And others. And in the next age, Treta Yuga, the Yuga avatar is reddish in complexion, and Jiva Goswami explains his name is Yagya avatar or Vishnu avatar and others. And of course, this is when Krishna appeared as Dwarapa Yuga, and he appears blackish. Now, Prabhupada translated and gave purports for chapter 8 of Canto 10. And Prabhupada makes a comment that in some Dwarapa Yugas, the Lord appears like fresh grass, like green avatar. Doesn't give the name. He says Ramchandra in coming in Dwarapa Yuga. It's a little, no explanation, but he says. Jiva Goswami makes the same statement in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Sometimes the Yoga avatar in Dwarapa Yuga is green. This verse is a very important verse in understanding Lord Chaitanya as the Yoga avatar whose complexion is yellow or golden. That's the first of 8 verses spoken by Gargamuni. Somebody that has a child has to mute their phone. In the next verse of the 8 verses, Gargamuni says, your son appears in every millennium, in a different incarnation. Oops, that's the same one. He then says that your son has appeared sometimes as the son of Vasudeva. And therefore he will be called Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. Now, how do we understand that previously in different millenniums he was the son of Vasudeva? The answer is Vasudeva and Devaki have their position in Krishna Loka, just as Nanda and Yasoda have their position in Krishna Loka. They are eternal associates of Krishna. And the pastime observed in Mathura is they also think of Krishna as their son. And when earthly pastimes are performed, Vasudeva and Devaki are the mother and father giving birth to Krishna. The third verse, Gargamuni says something mysterious. This son of yours has many names and many forms, and this is understood by me, but not by others. The fourth verse is very significant. He gives the reason and purpose of Krishna's appearance. Those of you that were with the class yesterday, you'll remember the fourth reason, in addition to the reasons mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma sangsthapanarthaya. Those are the 3 reasons. He gives protection to the devotees, he annihilates the miscreants, and restores principles of dharma there's a fourth reason. In fact, Jiva Goswami says, those are external reasons. The fourth reason is the internal reason. That fourth reason is he displays his very sweet pastimes to stimulate the love of the residents of this world, and even those that aren't devotees, they become attracted to him. By this feature of your son, everyone will experience the greatest bliss and will overcome all difficulties. Yes. Yes. Because Krishna appears to increase the bliss of the residents of Vrindavan, all the residents of Vrindavan will be protected from all difficulties of life. Yes? Those of you that have a writing instrument, you can write down 2 verses. Canto 10, Chapter 11, Text 58. Ten, 11, 58. Chapter 11 is dealing with Krishna's childhood pastimes just after he moves from Gokul to Vrindavan. Towards the end of chapter 11, there's the encounter with Bakasura. And Krishna destroys Bakasura. And the cowherd boys gather up the calves, they go back to Braja, and they tell their parents, wow, you know what Krishna did today? And they tell the whole story. No, those that have parental affection, what feelings are they feeling? They're feeling some anxiety. Oh no, there's demons over here in Vrindavan, not only in Gokula. Krishna's in difficulty. Oh no, they have anxiety, parental anxiety. one of the mysteries of Krishna's pastimes is that anxiety is an ecstasy. Our anxiety is not ecstasy. Their anxiety is sanchari bhav. Sanchari bhav is a transitory, ecstatic emotion. It's like in the ocean of rasa, there's a wave that rises and the wave then subsides and it disappears. This particular sanchari bhav of the elders of Braja is called chinta, which means anxiety. But the ecstasy of that anxiety is so strong that they overcome all material tribulations. There's a Sanskrit word that explains material tribulation, and the word is bhava, not bhava, but bhava. It's material tribulation. So as they're discussing Krishna's meeting demons as he goes out herding the calves, they're in this transcendental anxiety called chinta, and it takes them, the bliss is so great, it takes them just on the other side of material tribulation. So later you can look up the verse. Transitory emotion. Later you please look up this verse, text 58 from chapter 11. Sukadev Goswami explains that the residents of Vrindavan, they don't even perceive material tribulation. No, Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami. That's the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there's all variety of emotion, and it's all ecstatic. Here's another verse for you to write down and look up later. It's chapter 14, text 37. Chapter 14, text 37. In that verse, spoken by Lord Brahma in his prayers to Krishna, he explains that you appear in this world simply to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your devotees. Garga Muni was a really good astrologer. Now we're going back to the fourth verse where he said, "This son of yours will expand the bliss of all the residents of Vrindavan, and in this way they'll all be protected." They will surpass all difficulties. In the next two verses, he speaks of Krishna coming to check the enemies of Indra. And then he explains how, then Garga Muni explains how Krishna will protect them. He says, "This child of yours is as good as Narayan." He doesn't say he is Narayan. He doesn't say he is not Narayan. He's being very socially careful. He doesn't want to disturb the bhakti of Nanda Maharaj. He says, in transcendental qualities, in opulence, name, fame, power, exactly like Narayan. And for these reasons, you should not be astonished by his activities. And that was being spoken because they were astonished by his activities. Remember, this discussion took place just after lifting of Govardhan Hill for 7 days. And they were astonished. Whoa, who is he? Now, much time had passed between the name-giving ceremony and the lifting of Govardhan Hill. 7 years passed. And the devotees in Vrindavan would often speak about what Gargamuni had said to Nanda. It was just like everybody knew it, what he said. From time to time, for those 7 years, Krishna would exhibit amazing power. But their love for Krishna was so strong, they just overlooked that opulence and saw only sweetness. How wonderful is our Krishna! Every day, Krishna would kill 2 or 3 demons. We only hear of the prominent ones, but our acharyas say minimum 2 or 3 demons every day. And during the day, the cowherd boys would compose songs and sing songs about Krishna's wonderful activities that day, and the day before, and the day before. And they would just play and sing songs praising Krishna's wonderful activities. And when they went back to their homes at the end of the day, their parents were wanting to know, what did Krishna do today? And they would sing their songs, and the parents would make their songs and sing their songs, praising Krishna. Their lives were filled with bliss. And in this way, they did not even know material tribulation. But they knew Krishna. And all of this is revealed in those 8 verses of Gargamuni. And the pastimes of Krishna were just expanding and expanding and further expanding on those core messages. Krishna enjoying with the residents of Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan enjoying being with Krishna, and they just enjoyed pastimes together for 11 years and 8 months. Krishna Janmastami is to honor the appearance of Krishna's form in this world, to achieve all those things that we just talked about. And if our hearts and our minds become attracted to the all-attractive Krishna, we can go there too. I hope you're ready for a big adventure. But you have to let go of your material attachments. That's one requirement. But go on hearing and chanting, which will cleanse the heart. And the awakened, revived attraction for the loving pastimes of Krishna will take place of your material attachments. So we're celebrating Krishna Janmastami today together. And I have 20 minutes before I have to give the next class. Oh, 7:20. Oh, no, good news. We have 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So you may begin asking questions, and Surabhi, you direct how you'd like to honor the questions. So questions in the chat box?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. Rajendra Das.
Rajendra.
感谢翻译。今天是吉祥的 Krishna 显现喜乐的一天。请问谁把麦关上了？要不然你回应，谢谢。刨根问底的询问有关 Krishna 显现的细节的内容，也能增加对 Krishna 的意念。Krishna 在母亲的子宫8个月后显现，母亲之前的6个孩子出生，按照当代孕诞的时间，需要至少60个月，即5年的时间。而 Rohini 被送到 Gokula 的时，已经有孕3个月，难道她需要再等至少60个月的时间吗？第7胎儿 Balarama 转移到自己的子宫，再停留9个月，等待 Krishna 的降临吗？ Yeah, go ahead. His question is long. So
keep it short if you can.
Okay. And there are at least two questions.
Do one at a time.
Yes. So, thank you, Maharaj. Today is very auspicious Janmastami and also blissful day. So I'd like to ask the question, in detail, to ask the questions about Krishna in detail, also increase our memory of Krishna. So Krishna, Krishna appeared in the womb of his mother 8 months. After that, Krishna appeared in the world. So according to the Gabor estimation, 生之前的6个孩子出生。Before that, Devaki already gave birth to the 6th child. So according to time estimation, it needs at least 60 months. It sounds equal to 5 years. And when Rohini was sent to Gokula, he already was pregnant for 3 months. So that means Rohini needed to wait 60 months?
Yes.
60 months.
16. Yep.
No. 16.
1-6. Here's the chronology. Just listen and translate.
Yeah, 是这样子的。
During the beginning of the 3rd month of Devaki's pregnancy, she was sent to stay with Nanda Maharaj.
就 Devaki or Rohini?
Devaki. Excuse me. Rohini. You're right.
Yeah.
Rohini, thank you.
在 Rohini 怀孕3个月的时候，她被送到了 Nanda Maharaj 的居住地 Gokula。
So now Rohini is in Gokula with Nanda Maharaj.
然后 Gokula 待在了 Nanda Maharaj 的家，和他们在一起。
And Devaki is in the midst of her 7th pregnancy.
那个时候 Devaki 怀上了第7个孩子。
Krishna arranged for Yogamaya to carry that 7th pregnancy to the womb of Rohini and merge with Balaram already within her womb in her 7th month of pregnancy.
那么就在 Devaki 怀孕她怀孕有孕在身的时候，那个时候 Krishna 命令 Yogamaya 把 Devaki 腹中的孩子转移到 Rohini 的腹中，和已经在 Rohini 腹中的 Balarama 合二为一。So 那个时候 Devaki 她已经怀孕7个月了。
And Rohini gave birth to Balaram 16 months after her initial pregnancy, before she went to Gokula. Rohini gave birth to Balaram 16 months after her initial pregnancy.
Rohini 在怀孕16个月之后 Balarama 从她的腹中诞生出来。
So Balaram's birthday is 8 days before Krishna's birthday.
那么 Balarama 降临于世的那一天呢，是在 Krishna 显现日的头8天，比他提前8天出生。
Balaram appears on the Purnima, the full moon.
Balarama 是在圆月 Purnima 的那一天降临于世的。
And Krishna appears 8 days after that, the Ashtami.
那么 Krishna 是在那之后的第8天 Ashtami 显现的。
And Jiva Goswami explains why that is the right conclusion. I'll send Surabhi, you remind me, send me a little note, and I'll send you the research on this topic. You can translate it into Chinese and send it out to Rajendra and everybody else.
那么关于这一点呢，Jiva Goswami 说到了 这样的解释是最终的一个正确的结论。那么关于这一点呢，我会把相关的资料发给 Surabi， 然后 Surabi 翻译成中文发给Rajendra 还有其他人。
Okay, that's his first question.
所以这是回答了你的第一个问题了吗？
What's next?
So the next that 在另一个层面上，万事皆有可能。Sukadeva Goswami 在母亲的子宫中待了10多年，也是事实。请 Maharaj 描述其中的奥妙之处吧。跪谢 Hare Krishna。So, on another level, everything is possible.
Everything is what? On another level,
possible.
everything is causal?
Is possible.
Impossible?
Everything
is possible.
Yes.
Ah, okay, speak clearly.
Yes. Shukadeva Goswami stayed in the womb of his mother more than 10 years.
Yes.
So, yeah, could you, Maharaj, describe the mystery? Thank you very much.
Which mystery?
The mystery that Sukadeva Goswami stayed in the womb for more than 10 years. Could you explain the mystery of this?
He didn't want to come out. He didn't want to come out.
他不想，这个奥秘就是他不想出来，待在子宫里。So that all, Guru Maharaj?
That's it.
就是这个，因为Sukadeva Goswami当时在母亲的子宫的时候，他不想出来，所以在里面待了10多年。So Rajendra had the next question.
Okay.
Garga Muni 在起名仪式不想打扰Nanda大军的奉爱，虽然隐晦，却几乎直白地指出 Krishna 就是至尊人格守神 Narayana， 而 Nanda 大军是智者，没有明白是 Yogamaya 覆盖太深，还是父母情怀导致的呢？ Yeah. This question that in the name-giving ceremony conducted by Garga Muni didn't want to disturb Nanda Maharaj's bhakti. So, although indirectly, but almost directly indicate that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord of Godhead, the Supreme Lord of Godhead, Narayana. But Nanda Maharaj is a wise, is an intelligent devotee. So, why he didn't understand this? This is due to because Yogamaya covered him very deeply, or because of his strong parentage feeling to Lord Krishna.
They're the same. Nanda Maharaj's parental affection and the influence of Yogamaya, so that Nanda Maharaj would not see him as the personality of Godhead, they're the same.
请谁把麦关一下好吗？谢谢。Nanda Maharaj 因为他对 Krishna 的强烈的父爱情怀，还有 Yogamaya 的覆盖，所以 Nanda Maharaj 一直将 Krishna 视为自己的孩子。这个是一样的。Yes. So next question, Lalita Saki Mataji.
Yeah.
请 Guru 重复一下刚才提到的8个诗节的序号好吗？ Guru Maharaj, could you repeat the 8 verses you mentioned in your lecture? From which verse to which verse?
Okay. In chapter 26,
是在圣典博加瓦坛第10篇26章，
They're verses 15 to 23.
是15世节到22世节这8个世节。圣典博加瓦坛第10篇第26章15到22世节。
And in
this
they're the same verses as chapter 8.
那么跟这个8个诗节相同的8个诗节是在圣典博加瓦坛第10篇第8章。
And it's towards the beginning of the chapter. It starts with text 13, and you count 8 more after 13.
是从第13世节开始，然后往后数8个世节。圣典博加瓦坛第10篇第8章，从13个世节开始往后数的8个世节。第二个问题 ，Gargamuni 为巴拉拉玛起名时，更多的是依据它的特征和未来要做的事情，带有预言的性质。我的问题是，通常来说，灵性导师在给门徒起名的时候，主要考的因素是什么呢？我个人的理解是本性和灵性导师的祝福，这样的理解恰当吗？那么 the second question is that Gargamuni, when Gargamuni gave Balarama name, according to Balarama's features and the things will happen in the future. So according to these two elements, Gargamuni give the name to Balarama. This giving ceremony is like a prediction. So my question is that, generally speaking, when the spiritual master gives the spiritual name to the disciple, so what's the main elements that spiritual master consider?
It can be different things. Different considerations can be given. It's not the same as the horoscope name giving.
那么呢，会有不同的，给出不同的名字，会有不同的原因或者是依据，但不是根据这个门徒的天宫图来的。
Prabhupada's explanation is very simple and straightforward. A name is given to help the initiate remember Krishna. Some name of Krishna, or the name of Krishna's dear devotees, or some quality of Krishna, something that helps to always remember Krishna.
释迦牟尼佛德对灵性导师给门徒起名这件事情上说的非常的直截了当，说到了给他们灵性的名字是为了让他们记起 Krishna， 给他这些名字可能是跟 Krishna 有关，跟 Krishna 的奉献者有关，或者是跟 Krishna 的品质，或者是他的奉献者的品质有关。那么给灵性导师给门徒起名字是为了让他们想起 Krishna。 Yeah. So the second question that my personal understanding that according to the initiators, according to that devotees' nature and also this the spiritual master's blessings. So may I understand in this way, this understanding is correct or proper?
I've already answered the question. The suggestion that's in this question has no foundation.
Suggesting of
What is in the question is not correct.
You mean the understanding is not
The
correct?
understanding is not correct. It's not predicting this individual will become like this or like that. That's not how Prabhupada gave names to disciples.
哦，对，那施帕帕在这个对此评述到说到了，给门徒起名并不是有什么预言性的，这个不是以这个为基础的，所以关于这个带有预言性的这个性质，这一点这个理解是不恰当的。
Is that clear?
回答了你的问题了吗？ So may I repeat this sentence? My personal understanding is one's nature and spiritual master's blessings. So this understanding is proper or correct?
No. It has nothing to do with the nature of the disciple. It may or may not have anything to do with the nature of the disciple.
这个跟这个门徒的本性没有什么关系。So this is a spiritual master's blessing.
Yes.
是的，而是灵性老师的祝福。
Please always remember Krishna. That's the blessing.
这个灵性，这个祝福就是请永远记住 Krishna， 这就是祝福。Yeah, okay. Rajendra, yeah, Rajendra.
Let's go to somebody else besides Rajendra. Go to the others if there are others on the chat box.
好的 ，Rajendra，把
Surabhi.
机会给其他的人哈。
Surabhi.
Yes.
Rajendra already asked 3 questions. I'm asking you, go to others that have not had a chance to present their question before you circle back and take Rajendra's question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because I just want to repeat your verse to the audience. Hari Vallabhi, 顶拜敬爱的 Gurudev， 感恩您的仁慈，让我们能够通过网络与您共度节日。请问 Krishna 在 Satya 年代和 Treta 年代显现的原因，经典有讲述吗？ So I offer my obeisances to respected Gurudev. Thank you very much. Thank you for your mercy. So let us to celebrate Janmastami through the technical system. My question is that, Krishna's Dharma avatar in Satya Yuga and the Treta Yuga, is there any reason the Shastra described those reasons and the pastimes like that?
I don't understand the question.
In the Shastra described yoga avatar of Krishna in Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga, and also described the reasons.
The reasons?
Yeah.
There's one reason.
Why?
There's one reason. There's a reason for. Excuse me. There's a reason for a yuga avatar, and that's establishing the means of deliverance for that yuga. That's what a yuga avatar is. That's the reason.
那么这些 Krishna 的这些年代化身显现在这每一个年代的目的，原因，那就是给予每个年代的人们这个得以拯救的方式。So the Shastra also described those yoga avatar in Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga?
You're asking the same question again. It's the same answer to the same question.
Oh,
Melody, can you help out?
it's,
Can you help unmute yourself, Melody? Do you understand what's being asked differently than the way she's explaining this? Melody. Maybe she went away somewhere. Am I missing something, Surabhi? Because I think it's the same. Oh, Melody, there you are.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Is it the same question? Is it the same question being asked again and again? Am I missing something?
I'm not sure. I'm also a little puzzled. Sorry.
Okay. Surabhi, am I addressing the question or not?
Guru Maharaj, it seems that he would like to know this, if Shastra in detail described those yoga avatar appearance. I mean, the pastimes, like that.
Is the person wanting to know the pastimes of the Satya Yuga avatars and the Treta Yuga avatars? Is that the question?
Yeah, from this question.
From the what?
He asked that the Shastra describe, does Shastra describe those yoga avatar?
No.
In
There's very, very, very little information about these other yoga avatars. It's even difficult to find the names of the yoga avatars, what to speak of the pastimes of the yoga avatars. The only one I know a little bit about is Hansa Avatar, who spoke the Vedas to the four Kumaras.
关于这个 Yoga Avatar Krishna 在 Satya 年代和 Treta 年代 Yoga Avatar 的显现，在经典里面很少有描述，甚至这个名字都没怎么提到。就我了解的是，经典当中提到了一点点是，Hansa Krishna 以 Hansa 这个形象显现的 Yoga Avatar 的形象，他向 Hansa 的 Krishna 的 Hansa 的这个 Yoga Avatar 向四库马尔讲述了韦达经。仅此，我对此的了解就是这样。Yes.
Next.
知悉者，知悉者，听说Yashoda生下的女儿是 Yogamaya，而当 Vasudeva 带走这个女孩的时候，他带走的是 Mahamaya， 而 Yogamaya 留在了文达文。Guru， 可以讲一下这是怎么回事吗？ So this question from Tulasi Gopinath and her husband. I heard that Yashoda Mama gave birth to the daughter whose name is Yogamaya. But when Vasudeva brought this girl to Mathura, what he brought, the girl he brought is actually Mahamaya instead of Yogamaya, because Yogamaya remained in Vrindavan. So could you describe this? What happened about this?
Okay. Vasudeva brought Yogamaya. It's not that Yogamaya can't go anywhere she wants. She can go anywhere she wants. Yogamaya can go to Mathura and at the same time be in Vrindavan, no problem.
Yogamaya 她能够想去到哪里就去到哪里，她既可以去到Mathura， 又可以留在Vrindavan。
She may be known by different names.
她可能是以不同的名字而著称。
just like the person who is asking the question, ask that person, or all of you, what is the position of Subhadra, the younger sister of Krishna and Balaram? And the answer is, she's Yogamaya. And she's Yogamaya in Mathura, and then she goes to Dwaraka as Yogamaya in Mathura. Subhadra is Yogamaya. So Yogamaya can leave Vrindavan, no problem. No problem at all.
就像是有人曾经，请谁把麦关一下好吗？就像是有人曾经问过这样的问题：巴拉拉玛的妹妹 Subhadra 她的地位是什么样子的？然后回答是 Subhadra 她就是 Yogamaya， 那她是 Yogamaya， 她能够去到任何地方。在 Mathura 在 Dwarka 的时候，这个 Yogamaya 是以 Subhadra 的形象显现。
Be careful when you repeat things that you've understood them from the transcendental sources.
所以呢，当你去问问题的时候，一定要确保是从超然的来源去理解。
Next.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj. Next question from Nandimukhi. He sent the English. When Gargamuni gave name to Balaram, it is more based on his characteristics and what he will do in the future, which is profit. Oh, he repeats. Yeah.
It's the same question again.
Yeah, it's the same question. He just sent the translation.
Okay, I got the question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. 谢谢 Nandimurti. The next question from Janmastami. 敬拜 Gurudev， 聆听了您讲述 Krishna 显现的逍遥时光的奥秘，感觉这奥秘真的是难以理解，但又感受到了其中的甜美。问题是，物质的焦虑和灵性的焦虑是截然不同的。我们是要把物质的焦虑转换到灵性的焦虑当中吗？ So I offer my obeisances to Gurudev. So we hear from you that you narrate Krishna's appearance, the pastime, the misery of pastimes of Krishna's appearance, and I feel that this misery is really hard to understand. But at the same time, I feel the sweetness from this misery. So my question is that material anxiety is quite different from spiritual anxiety.
Yes.
So, yeah, we should try and convert the material anxiety into spiritual anxiety.
We need to convert the mind and senses to spiritual entities, and then you'll experience anxiety that's ecstatic, or any other emotion as ecstatic.
Yeah, Guraj, could you repeat?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not exactly you need to convert negative emotions into positive. You need to cleanse the mind and senses so that your reading of what's out there in the world becomes ecstatic.
那么这不是说是把内心的负面的情绪，把它转换为积极的焦虑，积极的，而是要去净化我们的心意和内心，如此就能够去在这种灵性的层面上去体验到这样的超然的狂喜。 把这个体验到灵性的焦虑是超然的狂喜。
Who's the
回答了你
enjoyer?
的
Who is the enjoyer? Material
谁？
says, I'm the enjoyer, and spiritual says, Krishna's the enjoyer. We need to move from the material to the spiritual side, and then it becomes ecstatic.
我们那到底，请谁把麦关一下好吗？谁到底是享受者呢？物质主义者说他们是享受者，但是在灵性奉献者说 Krishna， 从灵性的层面上，奉献者说 Krishna 是享受者，所以我们应该从灵性的这个视角、灵性的角度去看待所有的这些所谓的物质的焦虑，如此就能够处在超然的狂喜当中。
We have 15 minutes.
我们还有15分钟。
Go ahead. Next.
Yes. Next. 亚修达，听说亚修达同时还生下了一个男孩，那就是原初的 Krishna。但是当 Vasudeva 去到 Vrindavan 时，没有看到这个男孩，他只看到了一个女孩。同时，当 Krishna 离开 Vrindavan 去 Mathura， 原初的 Krishna 留在了 Vrindavan， 但没有人看到他。请问 Guru， Krishna 为什么要这样隐身呢？让别人看不见他呢？ So the question from Tulasi Gopinath and her husband. I heard that Yashoda Mama gave a birth to a boy at the same time, and that boy is original Krishna. But when Vasudeva went to Vrindavan, he didn't see that boy. He only see the girl. At the same time, when Krishna left Vrindavan to Mathura, the original Krishna remained in Vrindavan, but nobody seen him. So my question is that why Krishna hides himself and invisible to others?
I have been a devotee for 50 years, and I've never heard what I just heard, that that Vasudeva didn't see the boy child. That's news to me. I don't think it's correct.
Yeah. So 那么我做奉献者50年了，我从来没有听到这样的一个问题，说 Vasudeva married. He said Vasudeva went to Vrindavan.
Vasudeva went to Vrindavan and placed the
Yeah.
Vasudeva Krishna merged with the body of Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. That's what our acharyas say. It's not that he didn't see Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna and the Vasudeva Krishna merged into one Krishna. That's what the acharyas say.
我们的 Acharya 灵性导师们是这样说到的：当 Vasudeva 带着这个Vasudeva Krishna 去到 Vrindavan， 当时 Vrindavan 他是以这个叫什么呢 ？Vasudeva Krishna and Swayam
Bhagavan.
Swayam Bhagavan Krishna。当时 Swayam Bhagavan Krishna 已经显现在 Vrindavan 了。当 Vasudeva 把 Vasudeva Krishna 带到 Vrindavan 的时候 ，Vasudeva 和 Swayam Bhagavan Krishna 合二为一。
I have never heard from our acharyas that Vasudeva could not see the male child by the side of Yashoda. Never.
但是我从来没有听说哪一位 Acharya 们说 Vasudeva 没有看到Yashoda 所诞生的原始的 Krishna Svayam Bhagavan Krishna.
And when Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura, he manifested himself in the hearts of the residents of Vrindavan so that they could feel the pain of separation.
当 Krishna 离开 Vrindavan 去到 Mathura 的时候 ，Krishna 进入到了 Vrindavan 居民的心中，来让 Vrindavan 的居民感受到了与 Krishna 分离的剧痛。
But he never left Vrindavan. He is always in Vrindavan.
但 Krishna 从未离开 Vrindavan， 他永远在 Vrindavan。
And he's not obliged to be visible to you or to me or to the residents of Vrindavan. He can be in their hearts instead.
而 Krishna 他并不是说他隐藏自己，不让其他人 Vrindavan 居民不让你我看到他。Krishna 永远在众生的心中。
Next.
Yeah, next from Lalita Sati. 翻译的，我刚才提的一个问题，遗憾的是你在翻译的时候把它分成2个部分，实在是耽误大家的事。希望下次注意。您说的是一个问题是吧 ？Actually, he just clarified her question to the translator because he asked the question at the same time, but the translator translates her question into 2 seconds and into 2 parts.
That's okay.
Oh.
Let's move on.
大家是生分那个嘞。
Sing that the song from other side.
Somebody should mute their phone.
热爱生命 from Bhakti 杨改莲，顶拜咕噜，顶拜翻译。Krishna 的众多化身和扩展所杀死的恶魔去处有区别吗？化身和扩展有哪些区别 ？This question from Bhakti 杨百莲。I offer my obeisance to Guru. So Krishna has a different incarnation and expansions, and those. What's the difference? What's the difference of the destination of those demons who killed by Krishna's incarnation and expansions?
Only the demons killed by Krishna achieve liberation. The others do not achieve liberation, but they achieve some kind of freedom from their reactions of their sins and some kind of material power or opulence, because that's a kind of cheating benediction. They get more entangled. Go ahead, translate.
那么，只有被 Krishna 杀死的恶魔才获得解脱，而其他就是 Krishna 的化身和扩展杀死的恶魔，并没有获得解脱。他们可能是去除了他们的罪恶的反应，或者是去除了他们的物质的富裕等等。这是一种欺骗的祝福，这是一种欺骗的祝福。So The next question is that, what's the difference between incarnation and expansion?
Incarnation means one who appears in this world. Expansion may appear or may not appear in this world.
那么 Krishna 的化身呢？化身的意思是自上而下的降临到这个世界上，而扩展呢，可能没有显现在这个世界上，可能显现，而扩展可能显现，可能没有显现在这个世界上。Next question. Shri Gandharvika Devidasi, 感恩 Maharaj， 感谢奉献，感谢恩义。Vrindavan 的居民对 Krishna 的那种焦虑，实际上是狂喜。你能再帮助我们解释一下灵性的焦虑的狂喜和物质世界的焦虑的最大区别和特征是什么吗？感恩。So, thank you, Maharaj. The anxiety of the Brajavasis to Lord Krishna actually is a kind of ecstasy. So could you help us understand further, or could you further explain this point? The following point. Spiritual anxiety, the ecstasy of spiritual anxiety and material and anxiety in the material world. What between two? What's the biggest difference? And what's the biggest feature?
The biggest difference is who's at the center.
最大的区别就是谁是中心。
And I didn't understand the other part of the question.
The other part of the question that about the spiritual anxiety, the ecstasy of the spiritual anxiety and the anxiety in the material world, what's the biggest feature or characteristics?
I just answered that. The biggest feature or characteristic is remembrance of Krishna. When there's spiritual anxiety, it enhances, it strengthens, it enriches remembrance of Krishna. And the primary, the Staibhava, the primary rasa, is stimulated.
那么这最大的特征，灵性焦虑的狂喜和物质世界的焦虑的特征哈。就是灵性焦虑的狂喜是总是能够让人记着 Krishna， 而物质世界的焦虑不是让人记着 Krishna。那么灵性焦虑的狂喜，它滋养并且增强了一个人对 Krishna 的这种狂喜和愤爱之情，并且去促进了、更加激发了对跟 Krishna 的5种的关系，更加增强了跟 Krishna 的5种的关系。这是灵性焦虑的狂喜的特征。
I see Melody's question in English, and I see the clock says we have 5 minutes.
我们还有5分钟。
I think I'll take her question. Melody, you want to say it in Chinese, and then I'll answer it in English?
Maharaj. My question is that...
No, say it in Chinese so they can hear.
Yes, Maharaj. 我的问题就是，因为我看到一些奉献者把 Krishna 的6臂形态的这样的一个塑像放到他们的神坛上崇拜，就是我想知道是否这个是经典所认同的。还有一个问题就是，怎样理解这个就是邀请神像落成的这个仪式，它的重要性？这个是否是 让 Krishna 愿意显现在神像中非常必要的一个环节。
The answer to the first question is, in Puri, there is a temple, more than one temple, that have the Sadbhuj form shown to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, is it common? No. Is it authorized? Yes. Is it within Shastra? Not exactly. It's a form of Lord Chaitanya that was shown to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, which isn't described in Shastra. But it's bona fide, and it does take place. I don't know who you know have such a deity on their altar, but it's bona fide, but it's not in Shastra. You want to translate? Let Melody translate.
Okay.
就是 Guru Maharaj 说这个其实这个形象是主持Chaitanya Mahaprabhu向Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya特别展现的一个六臂的形态。这个是经典授权的，但是没有在经典里找到就是这样的就是这个是合理的，但是没有找到经典里关于这个神像崇拜的描述。而且 Guru 说他并不知道哪些人去崇拜这样的神像，就是在自己去崇拜，是吗？是阿弥玛姐，我可能有些忽略。
还有就是Sadbhuj 这个六臂神像在 Jagannath Puri 这个地方有好几座庙，不止一座庙的神坛上有 Sadbhuj 的神像在神坛上，所以这是授权的，是正宗的神像，但是呢，在经典里对他的崇拜并没有具体的描述。
And the second part is the function of the deity installation ceremony. There's formality, but the formality is inviting the Lord to receive. It's not, in other words, it's not mechanical, just worship without installation, or just install mechanically and then the Lord will receive. It's a receiving of the Lord ceremony, and it's important. It can be very simple, but it's important.
那么关于这个神像的树立仪式或者是开光仪式，它不是说是一种机械的一种方式，它是很正式的去迎接Krishna 的形体显现的一个很重要的一个部分，它不是一个机械的部分。
Now, I'm looking at the clock, and I have 2 more classes to give right after this one and then right after that one. And so I'm going to wish you well on your journey on Janmastami Day. Chant extra, hear extra, worship extra, pray extra. Have a nice Krishna Janmastami today.
今天Guru Maharaj在这节课之后还有连续的2节课，所以呢，今天这节课就讲到这里。希望Guru Maharaj在这里衷心的祝福大家，希望大家今天 Janmastami 非常的开心的，然后希望大家在Janmastami 的这一天多念诵、多祈祷、多阅读等等，从事这些灵性的活动。祝大家 Janmastami 快乐！来，请大家也开麦，祝 Maharaj Janmastami 快乐。So Maharaj happy Janmastami Day. We would like to express.
Thank you very much. Wow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Exit.
Hare Krishna.
Huh? This isn't the regular class. This is just because they have another class going on at the same time. This one started at 6:30. The other one starts at 7. That's what everyone else is.